If you struggle with feeling too much, if you are slow to trust and you're cautious before rushing ahead, if you hate casual relationships and you prefer depth to flash, if you've been called too much or too intense or too sensitive, then you might be a highly sensitive person. Dr. Elaine Aron's work on highly sensitive people inspired this beautiful film I watched recently called Sensitive and in Love. And you can catch that now for free in IMDb. I will put a link to it below. And it's about the struggles that sensitive people have in their love lives. Now, if you are a sensitive person, you do not need to watch this movie to know how much of a struggle love can be. Maybe you've been told by past partners that you overreact or you take things too seriously. What's wrong with you? Why are you crying again? You should toughen up. You should get over yourself. And yet you try so hard. You try not to let your feelings show. You try to act like everyone else. But there's so much going on inside that it can get overwhelming. Now, hopefully, you have some sort of creative practice where you can let those feelings out through music or words or pictures or baking or gardening or just posting your thoughts on the internet. But wouldn't it be nice to have a partner that you could share those feelings with? A partner who wasn't scared away by your feelings. A partner who was in awe of the way you respond to beauty and fun and majesty and pain and suffering and tragedy. Because not everyone feels as deeply as you do. And not everyone sees as deeply as you do. And not everyone cares as much as you do. And it would be so nice to have a partner who could hold space for you in all of your multidimensional complexity. A partner who listens, a partner who grounds you, a partner whose easy steadiness holds you when your emotions threaten to sweep you away. Now that is the dream. And although I can't find you that partner, I can give you some tips to help recognize him when he comes around. Hi, I'm Amy Waterman. I am a love expert here at yourbrilliance.com. And if you're new to my channel, make sure to give me a thumbs up to say hello. Now, in this video, I will be sharing 3 tips for those of you who are highly sensitive and searching for love. So the first tip I have for you is to pay attention to how any new man responds to your sensitivity. Does he make fun of it? Does he find it difficult? Does he seem disgusted by it? Or does he sit with it and try to understand it? I used to make the mistake of assuming that any man who's interested in spirituality would know how to honor my sensitivity. Like, surely a spiritual guy would be sensitive, right? Well, not always. An interest in spirituality or personal development or new age stuff does not mean that he is comfortable with female emotions. And a lot of guys don't know what to do with a woman's emotions because they've been taught to stuff down their own emotions and suck it up. And so they automatically shame their girlfriend or they make her feel inferior for having an emotional reaction. They tell her to calm down or to get over it or even stop being so crazy. Now, that is not helpful. So it's your job to make sure to explain your sensitivity to your partner. Tell him all the science stuff, because the statistics and the research are often a language that he can really understand. And once you're sure he gets it, you can show him exactly what support you need. Now, don't assume he knows how to support you. You've got to ask for what you need and you've got to be direct about it. But once you've done all that, if he is still responding with frustration or impatience or disgust, then he's not your guy. So set those boundaries and move on. The second tip I have for you is to look for a partner who is comfortable doing his own thing while you do your own thing. Now, there's just as many highly sensitive men out there as there are highly sensitive women, but you can be happy with a partner who's not highly sensitive too. If he's not highly sensitive, then he's not going to have the same needs as you. So he may not get tired as fast at parties, or he may be the type to stay up late and fall asleep immediately. and he may not need as much downtime. And all of that is okay. You just need to let him know what you need and then feel comfortable taking it. And so maybe you end up with different bedtimes, or maybe you take separate cars to parties so that he can stay later and you can come home whenever you want. Or maybe you spend part of your weekends apart so that you can get some downtime in while he goes off and does stuff with his friends. The right guy will feel comfortable going off on his own. Strong relationships do not mean being tied at the hip. The best relationships make space for you to be yourself and for you to be a couple. My third tip is to look for somebody with steady energy. As HSPs, we are really, really sensitive to other people's energy. And so if you end up with a guy who blows hot and cold or who plays with your emotions, it can emotionally destroy you. You don't want to be with a guy who blows in like a storm cloud or who appears in your life like fireworks and then disappears. You want to be with a guy who is like a steady house, so he can hold the chaos inside without collapsing or swaying or shattering. And sure, he sees how you're feeling. He notices how you're feeling, but your emotions don't change how he feels, because he knows that your emotions are your emotions and his emotions are his emotions, and they are not the same. I have been with partners in the past who made me responsible for their feelings. So I would be stressed or worried or low, and they would blame me for ruining the mood because they just wanted a girlfriend who was happy all the time and didn't demand anything from them. But in my world, when I am stressed, I would hope that I would have a partner who wouldn't catch my stress and treat it as his own. I would hope that I would have a partner who would look at my stress and feel empathy and want to support me. Sometimes in relationships, you really can get caught up in each other's feelings so that you don't know where one person begins and the other person ends. And that's really dangerous for an HSP, because HSPs are already so empathetic anyway. We do tend to catch other people's feelings. And so we need a partner who can help us maintain those boundaries. Someone who doesn't confuse our feelings for his and vice versa. And this is where a steady partner comes in. Maybe he's not the passionate, exciting type. Maybe he doesn't turn heads and drive a fancy car, but he's emotionally solid. He is there for you, and he's not going to cut and run. There are a lot of good guys out there who get overlooked because they're not flashy and they don't have the slick lines and they're kind of shy. But these guys are the gems in disguise. So go out there and hunt for them. Set your sights on a good guy, somebody who admires and appreciates your depth, someone who takes the time to build trust instead of pushing you too fast, and someone who leans towards you rather than turning away. And when you find this guy, make sure to drop us a line here so that we can celebrate with you. Now, if you are struggling in love as a highly sensitive person, please let me know what you would like to hear from me, because I can make many more videos on this topic if this is something you really, really want. Take really good care of yourself, and I will see you next time.